I think Denny Hamlin might be frustrated that his own car is beating him for these race wins. I mean, look at him. Does this look like a man who is happy about what just happened? Hello, everybody. My name is Brody. Hope you're having a great day. We got a NASCAR Cup Series race to break down and review, Kansas Speedway edition. We were treated to a pretty uneventful race in stages one and stage two. Wouldn't blame you if you took a power nap. But later in the race, with about 50 laps to go, the last pit stop sequence, things started to spice up and get interesting. And we even got a compelling overtime finish courtesy of the 51 car Cody Ware. So we got a lot to break down and cover. Just the last 50-ish laps alone. The finish, of course, we'll get into the What the F driver of the race and a new segment, the What the F team of the race. We'll get into my drivers of the day, the race results, and my final verdict and opinions of the overall race, not just the end. And we'll wrap it up there. So hope you guys are ready for this race review. I'm excited to break down everything that occurred and share my thoughts and opinions. So let's dive right in. Let's build some context for the last 50 or so laps of the race. There are only 4 drivers you really need to pay attention to or monitor in the last 50 laps of this race. Let's begin with Denny Hamlin, who dominated stage 1, had a fast Toyota Camry. Tyler Reddick, who sat on pole, who also had a very fast Toyota Camry. Christopher Bell, who dominated the portion of stage 3 before the pit stop sequence at lap 50 or so to go. He also had a fast Toyota Camry. And then Kyle Larson in a Chevy, who dominated in stage 2, who had a fast Chevy Camaro. So those are 4 drivers you need to be mindful of and played the biggest role in key factors ending in this race. Stage 3 is dominated by Christopher Bell in the 20 up until this last pit stop sequence where Denny Hamlin's team elects to come down in short pit before the leaders. That's Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell. Tyler Reddick follows Hamlin shortly after this, and Christopher Bell actually waits a handful of laps before coming down pit lane. This shakes up the running order to put Hamlin out in front by about 2 seconds over Tyler Reddick and about 5 seconds over Christopher Bell, giving Hamlin a big advantage, but a disadvantage on the tires. Denny Hamlin is out front and dominating this race all the way up until 10 laps to go, where Tyler Reddick actually makes his move, pounces on Denny Hamlin, and makes the pass. At this point, I'm like, okay, Tyler Reddick, he's got the fastest car on the track right now. He's just going to drive away and win this race. That was not at all what happened, because Austin Dillon in the 3 car made it very, very interesting. The 3 car was on the lead lap but trying not to go a lap down. This really hindered Tyler Reddick from being able to pull away from Denny Hamlin. This led to a small back and forth exchange between Reddick and Hamlin, trying to figure out which lane Austin Dillon's even going to go in. Hamlin was very frustrated on the radio. This led us to all the way up until 3 laps to go, where Tyler Reddick looks like he's going to just drive away. This is the biggest gap he's gotten until he comes on the radio and says, I'm out of fuel, I'm out of fuel. We're like, what? He's supposed to be good on fuel. There's no way he's out of fuel. Then he brushes the wall. Denny Hamlin scoots on by. It's now 2 laps to go. Reddick gets it backfired. He gets it back going. We're about to come to the white flag. Denny Hamlin's about to win the race, or Reddick's about to make it even more interesting, until the man, the myth, the man, Cody Ware decides to make it a 1 caution for incident race, where he literally spins out right in front of Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick. And in the post-race interview, Hamlin was like, I don't know how you even spin out going those speeds. Some shade throw to Cody Ware. But this leads to a overtime finish and crucial pit strategy coming down pit lane. I couldn't believe we saw a caution with Cody Ware spinning out like that. That is the What the F driver of the race. That has to be. I could not believe that happened. Denny Hamlin, poor guy. This is like 2025 championship race all over again, where Byron smacks the wall and Hamlin is left holding the bag because he can't get it done because of the pit strategy. I couldn't believe Cody Ware did that. You run how many laps? Over 200 laps. The slowest car consistently on the racetrack, and you were fine. And then the last 2 laps to go, you see the leaders in your rearview mirror about to come to the white flag. If Hamlin just gets to the white flag, the race is over. The race is over. He couldn't even make it to pass out of the turn to let Hamlin take the white flag. Cody Ware just, I don't know what happened. That was horrible. So he has to be the WTF driver of the race. Feels so bad for Denny Hamlin. But this gives Larson, Bell, Reddick an opportunity to pounce when we get to the pit cycle sequences again. And of course, the overtime restart. Tires played a big enough role to where we didn't see anybody take a big enough gamble and stay out. But the top 10 did come down pit lane and take 2 tires. The first car on 4 tires was Chase Briscoe in the 19 car. So to set the stage for the final overtime restart, we have Denny Hamlin on the inside lane on the bottom with Tyler Reddick to his outside, and we have Kyle Larson on the bottom lane just behind Hamlin, and we have Christopher Bell in the top lane behind Reddick. The 4 drivers I mentioned, the 4 key players to keep in mind, and this is where it all comes to a head with this overtime restart. We get going green. Hamlin takes off. We get past the start finish line. And here goes Kyle Larson making a move, diving down to the apron, takes them 3 wide, clears them both. And at this point, I thought Larson was gone. I thought he was completely gone, checked out. No way anybody was going to catch him. I thought, no way. Behind him was chaos. You had Hamlin on the bottom. Reddick is now in the middle because Christopher Bell, made a great move to the outside lane. It was 3 wide coming off of turn 2. If Christopher Bell pulled this move off, I think Christopher Bell would have ran down Larson with a huge head of steam coming down the back straightaway. That did not happen. Reddick got tight, fences Bell. Bell has to catch the car, smacks Denny Hamlin. So Hamlin has a horrible entry into turn 3. Seabell breaks a toe link. He ends up spinning down pit lane as the cars are jetting off to the final lap. So now Larson has to only really deal with Tyler Reddick. We take the white flag, and I think there's no shot, no way Reddick can even muster up a fight for Larson. They're on the same even tires, and I don't think Reddick was that much better than Larson, but I was proven wrong. Reddick makes a last lap pass going into turn 3, setting on the bottom lane. Larson had no shot. There was no momentum coming at all from Larson. Reddick looked like he had another 50 horsepower under the hood, the way he was able to drive up to Larson, make the move pretty much with ease, and gets his 5th win of the season. 5 wins in 9 races. Nobody else has done that since the late, great Dale Earnhardt. I could not believe Reddick won this race. He did not have the most dominant car, but he somehow still found a way to get the job done. And Michael Jordan goes back to victory lane. I think he's been there for every single victory this season for Reddick. I could not believe it. So Tyler Reddick is your race winner at Kansas Speedway. He only leads 10 laps on the day, but now finds himself 105 points above second place Denny Hamlin. This team is making an incredible statement. Sticking it to NASCAR. I mean, if there was any built-up animosity or go prove it to NASCAR, they're doing it. 5 wins in the first 9 races is incredible. I could not believe Reddick got this win. Yeah, he started on pole. He only led 10 laps, but was never really the most dominant car. I mean, Clean Air was dominant today. Go figure. But Hamlin dominated stage 1. Looked like he had the best car all throughout the race. Larson was able to get a great pass on Hamlin in stage 2 with his teammate even Elliott passing the Toyotas. So Larson dominated stage 2, but I never thought Larson had the most dominant car. I thought it was Denny Hamlin. And Reddick was always in the top 5 lurking there, but he somehow found a way, got the job done, ran down Denny Hamlin. And if it weren't for that weird I'm out of fuel, slap the wall moment, I think he would have won that race anyways. Without the assist from Cody Ware, obviously. Cody Ware, I don't know. But anyways, I'm sure Denny Hamlin's going to have some choice words for the 51 on Actions Detrimental with this podcast coming up this week. So Tyler Reddick gets it done, gets his 5th win of the season. What a job for Tyler Reddick and for that whole 45 team. It is incredible what they are doing. So hats off to them for the dominance, the pure dominance. NASCAR fears 2 things. One is dominance seeing a dominant driver like Jimmy Johnson or Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt even dominating. They don't want to see dominance. They want to see parity, and they don't want to be embarrassed. Well, 2311 Racing is doing that. Reddick is dominating, and frankly, 2311 Racing is sticking it to NASCAR by getting these wins in statement fashion, such as this. So once again, congratulations to Tyler Reddick on his fifth victory of the season. Let's get to my drivers of the day now, starting with Kyle Larson, the runner-up. I think that win is coming. I think Kyle Larson is getting in the groove, and as this Chevy Camaro, they figure out the new body at that Hendrick Motorsports camp, I think Larson is going to break through here very shortly, but he has to wait at least one more week as he finishes second just behind Tyler Reddick. I really couldn't believe he got past like the way he did. I thought he was going to set sail. Before the overtime restart happened, I saw Larson was lining up on the bottom lane, and I thought to myself, Kyle Larson is going to make it 3 wide, and he's going to win this race. I almost was proven right. Almost. But anyways, Kyle Larson finishes second, has a great points day overall, leads 78 laps as well, gets the stage 1 win. I believe he finished second in stage 1, wins stage 2, and finishes second in the race. Massive points day for Kyle Larson, so that's great to see. But anyways, Kyle Larson is definitely a deserving driver of the day, and I think that win is coming. That win streak is going to end soon. Next has to be Denny Hamlin, who gets a 4th place finish. He had, I think, the most dominant car of the race. Clean air was so important that you almost forgot that he was the most dominant car in stage 2, and when Seabell was winning, or leading, sorry, in stage 3, Hamlin found a way using pit strategy to get back to the lead. He just ran out of car, ran out of tire. Reddick ran him down, almost pulled it back until Cody Ware happened. But Denny Hamlin still had an amazing day, leads 131 laps, now finds himself second in the points, surpassing Ryan Blaney in the 12th. So Denny Hamlin should still be very happy with the overall day he had at Kansas. I'm very anxious to see this Actions Detrimental podcast. He was very critical of Cody Ware in his post-race interviews. And I honestly think he's getting sick and tired of Tyler Reddick beating him straight up for these wins, because if you watch the post-race sequences afterwards, Michael Jordan comes up to Denny Hamlin and, gives him a slap on the back, shakes him a bit, trying to you know, tease him a bit about losing to Reddick, their joint-owned car. Denny Hamlin is having none of it. I mean, if you could show no emotion, have a poker face in that instance, Denny Hamlin had it. I mean, he looked pissed. He looked pissed. I wouldn't want to get in front of Denny Hamlin or set him off anyway after the race, but Michael Jordan is probably the only one that could do that in that situation. But that was just a funny sequence after the race. Anyways, Denny Hamlin, definitely a driver of the day. Let's do the last 2 drivers of the day together because they're kind of in the same boat. Bo Wallace finishes in 5th, and Brad Keselowski finishes in 6th place. Well done for both of these guys, especially Brad Keselowski, who started 21st, made his way forward, was very competitive all race long. And Bo Wallace, who had a very fast car, went through a little bit of adversity at times, still finds himself with a top 5 finish. So I want to give both of those guys a good shout out because this is great finishes for them. They both really needed these finishes, and I hope they get more as the weeks go on. So I want to give Bo Wallace and Brad Keselowski a driver of the day. Now let's jump into the race results, and stick with me. After the race results, we'll get to my new segment, the What the F team of the race. But let's begin with Chase Briscoe, who finds himself in the 3rd spot. He was the first car on 4 tires, taking 4 tires on that last pit stop sequence for the overtime restart. Finds himself in the top 5, getting a nice 3rd place finish. I think he was the 4th best Joe Gibbs racing car the entire race length. I think Gibbs was even better than Briscoe at most of the race, honestly. So I think Briscoe overachieved here, getting a 3rd place finish, so well done. Finishing 7th and 8th respectively is William Byron, who's kind of irrelevant most of the day, winds up getting a top 10 finish, so well done William Byron. And Chase Elliott, who had a fast race car at one point in the race, he passed Reddick and Hamlin straight up with Larson on the stage to start at the beginning of the stage, and then kind of lost the handling and fell back and was kind of not really in contention for the rest of the race. After that point, so unfortunate for Elliott, but still gets a top 10 finish, so well done. Ty Gibbs and Chris Buescher round out your top 10, with Ty Gibbs getting a 9th place finish and Chris Buescher getting a 10th place finish. Gibbs was fast yet again, was dealing with some tight handling issues in that 54 car, was very frustrated, a bit too frustrated. We need to calm down a little bit, Ty Gibbs. I understand you're frustrated, but reel yourself in, focus on the objective, and get the finish that car deserves. Chris Buescher, well done. RFK Racing overall, well done, because Ryan Preece finishes just behind Chris Buescher in 11th place in that 60 car. So RFK almost got all their cars in the top 10. So well done for carrying the banner for Ford, because Team Penske was awful today. Not great overall for Team Penske, because Austin Cindric is the highest placing Team Penske car in 12th position, and you have to scroll way down to get to his teammates, because Ryan Blaney finishes 24th because he had damage, and Joey Logano finishes 30th. He had no damage. His car was just slow again. Horrible past few weeks for Joey Logano especially, but Ryan Blaney, I guess we can hit on him real quick. He had pit road issues again, but not his actual pit crew's fault. On the first pit stop of the race, he's leaving his pit box, and AJ Allmendinger is coming to his pit box, and they make contact, spinning AJ around, and Blaney suffers a bit of splitter damage on the right front and spends the rest of the race trying to recover and goes laps down, and the car is just not really competitive. So that was damage-based incidents for that car not being great. Logano was just awful the whole race long. A couple of 2311 racing cars finish 14th and 15th respectively. So all four, I say four, 2311 Racing Toyota Camrys finish inside the top 15, because Corey Heim made a one-off part-time start for the team in the 67 car, and Riley Herbst finished just ahead of him in the 35 car. So well done for both of these drivers. They even had a little bit of contact during the race. I was like, ooh, getting spicy here. And that was really the only thing that really happened in stage 1 and stage 2, other than the Blaney incident on pit road. So trying to spice things up where we can. So that was well done for Corey Heim and Riley Herbst. Love seeing them racing competitively like that. Alex Bowman finishes 18th, so not great. I'm really hoping some better things for that 48 car in the coming weeks. Christopher Bell winds up in the 20th spot. He even got the fastest lap of the race, leads 47 laps, all pretty much in stage 3. Unfortunate circumstances. I think Reddick just got tight, fenced him. It's a racing deal. Unfortunate for C. Bell. Really, really unfortunate. I did not enjoy seeing that. I think it would have been a very compelling finish if that contact did not ever transpire. It was still rather entertaining to see that happen, but a bit unfortunate for Christopher Bell, because he really did deserve at least a top 5 finish, bare minimum, because that car was very, very fast. So 20th place finish, not great for C. Bell. Unfortunate ending. Kyle Busch finishes 35th. Do I really need to say more about this situation? It's really just the every week thing. So disappointing. That transitions us into the first ever What the F team of the race, and it goes to Trackhouse Racing. What a abysmal Kansas Speedway for Trackhouse Racing. Let's look at all 3 cars where they started and finished very quickly. Look at this. Ross Chastain started 31st, winds up 26th lap down. His teammate, Connor Zilic, started 36th, finishes 29th, laps down. And SVG, who started 17th, hey, finishes 36th, 4 laps down. Oh my goodness, what a disappointing outing from Trackhouse. I don't know what is going on at Trackhouse. Well, side note, I do know what's going on. It is ECR not giving RCR or Trackhouse or Colleague, for that matter, any help whatsoever in the engine horsepower competitive department. Nada. Nothing is happening. Hendrick, Spire, those guys getting the Hendrick Motorsports engines are doing just fine. They're pretty competitive. Hendrick's got a bigger, thicker notebook. RCR, ECR, struggling, can't provide Trackhouse what they need to get all these talented drivers in the top 20. That can't even happen. What a horrible Kansas for Trackhouse Racing and RCR. I mean, Austin Dillon, he finished 16th, like whoop-de-doo. Not great. ECR, RCR, Trackhouse need to get together fast. Need to get together fast because all these drivers are not good in the points, and it's not looking well finishing as low as they are on a mile and a half. They should be performing at least midfield on. They can't even do that. So we need something to happen fast for everybody involved with every Chevy basically not in the Hendrick Motorsports camp. Let's wrap this race review up with my final verdict and opinions. Honestly, guys, if we did not get the last 50-ish laps of the race where I began the episode off on, this would not be a very compelling race at all, at least in my opinion, because stage one was dominated, no passing whatsoever, especially not for the lead. Stage two, more of the same, if not more than stage one, about being completely dominated. Stage three, the beginning, all the way up until that pit stop sequence, was more of the same. So interesting enough for Kansas, which has been only trending upwards ever since the next gen car was brought into the sport, and we've been seeing a lot of compelling races. We got the closest finish in NASCAR history at this track. I mean, that's how good the racing has been, and pretty consistently. This was kind of the first dud in the Kansas next gen era. So unfortunate outcome for the majority of the race. We did get some great racing at the end, however. Even without the overtime finish, I don't think we need an overtime finish for me to really enjoy the end of this race. I think it would have been an insane finish if we didn't get the overtime restart, because I think Cody Ware, if he didn't self-sabotage and sabotage the race, we would have seen a very compelling battle between Hamlin and Reddick. 2 laps left, showdown, battling through lap traffic. It would have been great. We didn't get that. We got something else instead. I still think it was good, but I think the winner would have been the same anyways. I don't know. I think tire wear played a role in how teams operated, especially on pit lane and the pit strategy and whatnot. That's why we didn't see anybody stay out on 4 old tires, because of the long tire run we had in that last green flag section of the race. So definitely played a role big enough to not compel teams to make too big of gambles on tires, because they mattered enough. Other than that, I thought the broadcast was Fox standards, and I think the race overall was just not amazing, and the end of the race really did save it. So go figure, NASCAR, you have to watch to the end because you never know what's going to happen. I think the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race was the highlight of the weekend. Go watch that race if you haven't, at least the highlights. Amazing race. The best series in NASCAR. I keep saying it. I will keep repeating it. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy my thoughts and opinions and race review. Please let me know your thoughts and comments down below about the race and this video. I would mean a lot to me to connect with you guys. And please like and subscribe if you are new. Ring the bell for notifications. I do race reviews for the Truck Series, for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and the Cup Series. Every weekend, you can bank on me covering the races and giving my raw thoughts and opinions of the racing action we get to see on the weekends and sometimes Fridays. So I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll leave you guys with this. Have a great, wonderful, and even splendid rest of your day. See ya.